So a lot of people were up in arms in regards to my raw reaction to the latest Dragon Ball Super episode that I'm going to be reviewing today. And a lot of people's main concern or problem with my video was my stance on the Vegeta versus Frost fight, which in essence, for starters, I don't get why people get so critical in a raw reaction. You got to understand, I'm not watching with subtitles. I have very limited knowledge in regards to understanding Japanese. You know, I might understand a sentence here or there, but I don't really understand it. So some of the context in regards to that episode was out the window, and honestly it's just me having a good time and giving you raw thoughts, not thinking anything other than oh shit. So when people take that out of proportion and start going crazy, it's like, think for a second the fact that it is literally just like if somebody's sitting on the couch with a beer watching football is how I treat those particular videos. So don't take it to heart, bruh. Now that doesn't mean that I don't stand by what I said regarding this review coming into it and analyzing the situation, but in retrospect there are a couple reasons why I would say it's not as bad as maybe my initial impression. I still don't feel like Frost should have got dusted like that, just like I don't feel like Botamo should have got fucked over like that. But looking at it, okay, there is a couple of excuses. I mean, for starters, Frost did have a very fierce fight with Goku, and then on top of that, he had a pretty fierce fight with Piccolo, you know, Piccolo out strategizing him and getting him tired out. So he had a couple of fights before the Vegeta thing, but you gotta think for a second, he literally couldn't do anything to Vegeta, and Vegeta was in the same form as Goku, but when Goku fought Frost kind of gave him a little bit, not really a run for his money, but he, you know, could get a couple of hits here or there, and he was trying his best. But again, I guess if you factor in the fact that both of them were, you know, already tiring him out, Piccolo and Goku did him in, and then now he gotta fight Vegeta, so it makes a little more sense why he would get one punched. But jeez, I mean, going into this, I wanted Universe 6 people to really be just something else. Like, I didn't expect for them to completely crush the Z Warriors considering everything they've been through up until this point, but I wanted a little bit more out of it, and that's where my reaction comes into the fact of like why I was upset about it. Is like, Frost really didn't put work in on anybody. Even Piccolo, that is supposedly far below what Frost can do, out-strategized him and would have won if it wasn't for the cheating. And it's funny because he wanted to go all-out cheating against Vegeta, and he did get one punch. It was like, one punch! I was just thinking to myself like, damn, Frost, even all-out cheating, no fucking hiding shit, you still got fucked over, and even harder. Like, Frost, yeah, you better eat your Universe 6 Wheaties next time. Then a little bit of what we found out more about Hit in this one, getting more of the context. Again, me coming into this with a review, finding out first of all that he's a hitman. And second of all, once again, like I said in my reaction, it looks as though he did some sort of genjutsu thing. So I'm guessing, like a lot of people theorized from a while ago already, Hit has some sort of psychic abilities. Maybe that's why mentally he fucked him over, and Frost was like, what are you doing to me? Because he wasn't physically, you know, attacking him. He was just standing there, but mentally he can fuck you over. So that's kind of something interesting, because in Dragon Ball Z has always been just like brute force, like, you know, fighting, martial arts, big ki blast. We haven't really had elemental type of fights at all. Like, nobody's ever really had like this weird, strange ability and power, which is something that is more so a common thing now in anime and manga. Like, he has this fire ability, this ice ability. So if Hit has some sort of psychic abilities, it could change things up a little bit, because no matter how fast and how strong Vegeta is, if this guy's a psychic and he can just keep looking at him, fucking with him mentally, it'll be an interesting fight depending on who actually fights him. Because now that Goku's back in there, is it going to be Goku that fights him? Is it going to be Vegeta? Is it going to be Monaka? Hit is looking like the strongest candidate right now, though, from Universe 6. And then the huge thing that everybody's talking about, and I'll probably have a separate video on it myself, because it's just a really interesting thing how hyped up he was, but it's starting to seem a little odd regarding Monaka, whether or not he's actually a capable fighter, because in this episode, and kind of a couple of the episodes leading up to this one, Beerus has been acting really out of character and strange regarding the Monaka situation. I mean, if you think back, I think, was it that Goku hit him or something there, and Monaka really didn't do shit? He looked like he was about to cry, and then Beerus was kind of like, no, Monaka needs to go last. And then the way it was said is almost as if Beerus is lying, and maybe when he told Goku you're the second strongest, it was because of like a pride thing. So then he had to live up to it by bringing Monaka in and pretending like, yes, this is the strongest, when in actuality, who knows, maybe Monaka's not even as strong as Master Roshi or some shit like that. Or it could be the reverse, that, which I highly doubt at this particular point, the way him and Whis were talking, that maybe Monaka's just incredibly strong. Maybe Monaka's even stronger than Beerus and he doesn't want to upset him, but it's more than likely Monaka can't fight for shit and he just hired him. Maybe he owed him a favor or something, and that's why he's there. And then the later half of the episode, Vegeta versus Magetta, again, it's doing something regarding elements, because it's always been, you know, who's stronger, who's faster, the big ki blast and everything. With this one, it was like, even though they had to cheat cheat to get that spear to make it a little bit more that Magetta's abilities can work on Vegeta. It's using something different that Dragon Ball really hasn't done. Dragon Ball Z especially never really did it, and that's like using elements and stuff like that, that it's not just gonna be who can punch harder and stuff like that. So I'm liking that aspect of it as well. I mean, don't get me wrong, Vegeta suffocating is just kind of a weird thing. It's like he's, you know, overheating to an extreme there. So it's definitely interesting, although again, if Vegeta wanted to finish this quick, I don't know if he's just still on that mindset of let me reserve my strongest for the, you know, following fighters. Maybe I want to finish this whole thing by myself, because why not go Super Saiyan Blue and try your best to just punch straight through this motherfucker, rip his arms off like you did Android 19. And I ain't gonna lie, I think I mentioned this before, but I'll say it again. It really seems as though there's a huge possibility, and that'd be funny as fuck, but then at the same time like a mind fuck, that this dude, the Magetta guy, the robot, you know, humanoid robot, whatever the fuck you want to call it, is possibly like a Universe 6 version of what it was that Oolong can transform and he was in Dragon Ball. If you remember Dragon Ball, when we first ran into Oolong, he was like this big monstrous looking fucking thing that he could transform into, and coincidentally, this Magetta motherfucker has the same voice actor as Oolong. So if this is the Universe 6 version of Oolong, maybe he's actually a fucking pig or something, and he could just transform into this, and that's maybe why the Kai's never really heard about it in Universe 7. It would make sense, but still it'd be like, whoa, what the fuck? And with all that being said, honestly, it was for the most part a good episode. It's just kind of like, it's really a letdown when you were hoping, you know, when I saw Universe 6 Warriors, and I know a lot of you too felt the same way, I was like, yes, we have a Saiyan, we have this Piccolo looking fucking Cell looking crazy motherfucker, we have another Frieza, we have like, you know, we just have a new cast of villains finally, new cast of antagonists, and then to see them go down like this with little to no effort. I mean, it's not like Goku and Vegeta are going all out like they had to go against, you know, Beerus and Frieza and the Resurrection of F. It's just a little disappointing. So I'd say maybe like a 7 for this episode. I wish the fights would be longer. That's one of the problems I'm feeling that Super is having right now. The fights definitely need to be a bit longer than just like half an episode or one episode. Like, I think Vegeta maybe should have had a little bit more of Frost. It shouldn't have just been literally that one punch. And also, it would have been nice if it was just like one punch and he flew away or something, but like the way they directed it, it was kind of like weird. But let me know what you guys thought of this episode. How do you feel about that? Do you think that Monaka is actually a capable fighter, or Beerus is lying his ass off about it? What do you think about Hit's abilities? Is he a sidekick? And what do you think about Dragon Ball kind of morphing into now having elemental battles instead of just always being about, you know, the biggest punch and the strongest ki blast? Your real thoughts of the episode. But thanks for watching. If you enjoyed anything about this review, make sure to drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, make sure to subscribe, follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and stalk my Facebook to get more when the video ends. I'm Finette World, and as always, people, have an awesome day.